Hi everyone, it's Sam from 20Telly and today I'm going to show you how to create an IVR on FreePBX version 16. I'm using the official FreePBX distro with the most up-to-date system and stable modules as of the 1st of February 2023. So the first thing we need to do is log in by clicking on the FreePBX administration icon and filling in the administrator username and password. When you log in, you'll be presented with the dashboard page. We're going to go up to Applications and down to IVR. So IVR stands for Interactive Voice Response. It gives you the ability to direct your customer to the correct department by giving them menu options to choose from. So we're going to click on Add IVR. We're then presented with a page of different options and things to fill in. If you're not too sure what each one means, there's a question mark that you can hover over and it will give you a brief description. So the first thing we need to do is name our IVR. So I'm just going to put in here IVR test and then a brief description. So today I'm going to do menu options, IVR DTMF options. So we need to give our customers an announcement. It could be something as simple as welcome to 20 Telecom, or your menu options, press 1 for sales and 2 for support. I've got one here ready. Enable direct dial. So do you want to give your customer the ability to directly dial your extension from the IVR? So I'm going to put enabled. Force strict dial timeouts. So this by default is set to no legacy and it allows the IVR to listen out to all of the digits input by the customer before making a decision on where to send you. So I would just leave this as it is. Timeout. How long do you want your IVR to wait for before it realizes that nothing's happened and it sends you somewhere else? I think 10 is a little bit too long, so we'll go halfway and put 5 seconds. Alert info and ringer volume override. We did cover this on the video in inbound routes. What it means is if you have a phone provisioned on the system, then you can change the ringtone and the volume of this particular IVR. So we'll leave those as none and we'll go down to invalid retries. How many times do you want to give your customer the option to input an invalid response before the IVR realizes and sends you somewhere else? So I'm just going to change this to 1. Invalid retry recording. Do you want your customer to be played an announcement that tells them that they've put an invalid response and that they need to try again? If you leave this as default, it says we have not received a valid response, please try again, or you can upload your own, or you don't have to put anything at all. So I'm just going to leave this as default. Append announcement to invalid. So if they've put an invalid response in too many times, do you want the customer to go back to the top of the IVR and start again? I would leave this as no. You don't want your customer to end up in a cycle where they can't get through to anybody. Return on invalid. If you've got more than one IVR and this is the second one that your customer is in, do you want your customer to go back to the original IVR and start the process again if they've put in an invalid response too many times? Again, I would leave this as no. You don't want them stuck in a cycle of not being able to get through to anyone. Invalid recording. So your customer has input the digits too many times incorrectly and now they need to be sent somewhere else. Do you want a recording played to them to let them know that? If it's set to default, it will say we have not received a valid response. Please wait while we connect your call. So I'm just going to leave that as default. And then invalid destination. Where do you want them to go because they've put an invalid response in too many times? So I'm going to click on the drop down here. You've got different options to choose from. I've already got a ring group ready, so I'm going to put in my ring group here, 321 test. Timeout retries. So it's the same as invalid, but for timeout. So how many times do you want to allow your customer to not put in anything at all before the IVR sends them somewhere else? I'm going to change this to 1. Timeout retry recording. Do you want to play an announcement to your customer to let them know they haven't put anything in? Again, default just says we have not received a valid response, please try again. So I'll leave this as it is. Append announcement on timeout. Do you want to send the customer back to the top of the IVR? I'm going to leave this as no. And return on timeout, so return to the original IVR if you have one. I'm going to leave this one as no as well. Timeout recording. So do you want to play the announcement, we have not received a valid response, please wait while we connect your call. So I'm going to leave this as yes, default. So timeout destination, where do we want to send our customer? So I'm going to send mine to my ring group. and then return to IVR after voicemail. So if the customer goes through to a user extension and the voicemail has answered the call, do you want this to be the final destination, or do you want the customer to go back to the IVR and start again? So I'm going to say no and have the voicemail being the final destination of the call. So finally, IVR entry. So when a digit is pressed, where do we send the customer? So if I put here 1, choose destination, I want them to go to my ring group. And then to add another entry, if the customer presses 2, I want them to go directly through to my extension. And then you can see here, you've got the toggle on of yes and no. Do I want the customer to return to the IVR if my voicemail answers? So I'm going to leave this as no. So that's everything on this page. All that's left to do now is click submit. We've now created our IVR, so we can change the destination of our inbound route that we created in another video. So if we go up to connectivity and down to inbound routes, you can see the destination is currently set to ring groups. So if we click on the edit button, set destination to IVR, and then click submit. And to apply all changes, press the apply config button in the top right hand corner. So that's everything we're going to cover today. If you found it useful, please like, comment, share, and if you want to see more like this, please subscribe, and I'll see you on the next video. Thanks for watching.